Welcome. It's so great to have you tune us in and turn us on. We just want to say this is part 2. Part 1 was last week. And a lot of times you'll see a lot of the shows that happen around holidays, they play an encore, they do something. But Mark and I decided we were going to do live call-in show. We did one last week. We're really grateful, Mark, that we did, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, because, Dr. Pat and I discussed that so many people feel alone during the holidays. And, for us to abandon our audience, that would be like canceling your fear of rejection class, you know what I'm saying? Support group. And so that's why we're here. And, the psychic and the doc are on call every Thursday. And particularly now, this is the second to the last day of the year. And, this last week, we suffered quite a few losses. John Madden, Harry Reid, Bishop Desmond Tutu. I understand one of the Marvelettes just passed.
Yep.
And, 2021 was very difficult for I think, just about everybody. And, but we got a really positive theme for 2022. Dr. Pat, why don't you tell everybody what it is?
2022 Transformation Network. And I say the Transformation Network because you all are going to hear us come out in February with our new network, our new design, our new channels. And so all of you know about Transformation Talk Radio or the Dr. Pat Show. But what's going to be happening is we have an overarching network. It's called the Transformation Network. And we are getting ready to launch that with multiple channels. It is going to be a website that you can join. You can get tips every week. Our host and co-hosts are going to contribute. It will have so many things that are about transformation, including our Epic Living TV. Plus, all of our players will have video on them. So we've been working on this for a while. And Jessica, who is running the show, has been spearheading this up. And I want to tell you for a minute, this day today is about celebrating the unsung heroes. And that's Jessica. This is somebody that started as an intern and she's running the show, came in the snow just to run this show because the alternative was we were not going to be able to have callers. So her own show, by the way, for all of you out there, is The Possibility Perspective. Now you can go to her website, The Possibility Perspective, authentic, bold, challenging, and you can find out what she's about. But she says it best. She says, when we understand perspective, anything is possible. She says, we can expand our mind, we can heal our wounds, we can gain compassion, and truly look at solutions by exposure to different perspectives. And this is what this show is about. 2021 was about all of us understanding what it means to become one, to connect across race, connect across ethnicity or religion, and to understand we all had a common theme. We were faced with something globally. So whether you lived here or you lived in China or you lived in New Mexico, it doesn't matter where you lived. I mean, New Mexico is part of here. Sorry, New Mexico. Please don't email me. I know you're one of the states. I meant to say like Mexico.
We love you, New Mexico.
We love you, New Mexico. So I do know your I do know New Mexico's part of the United States.
And we love old Mexico too.
We love the old Mexico too, which is actually, that's a whole, is the old Mexico Texas? Uh-oh, now we're going to get to Texas emails.
Uh-oh, we love you, Texas. Don't mess with Texas.
Oh my gosh. But the reason I brought it up is because Jessica did come in the middle of snow and ice, or the show wouldn't happen. And that is her own show. Mark, you said it well. We have lost so many people. I am here on the East Coast because family member, when a brother-in-law passes away, that's a family member. And it affects everybody in the family. And he wasn't alone. There were so many people that made their transition. But that's what you do, Mark, isn't it? So you have been connecting people, haven't you?
I have, and I facilitate communication between people in this world with those on the other side. And one of the remarkable things about this show, there's no other show like this, because I'll connect people and then Dr. Pat will give you her insights. And, I've heard Dr. Pat, a lot of people have contacted me and said that, wow, when I call in and you and Dr. Pat talk to me, nobody gets, the double shot of the psychic and the psychologist. And that's why we decided to do this. And that's why we decided to go ahead and work through the holidays. Because, I remember every holiday after somebody I love died, it's just bleak and miserable. I mean, you're supposed to be all ho, 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 and you don't feel that way. And that's why we're here. And what I want to say for the callers, because I know that we've got callers coming in, is for the people who are listening, even if you don't get an individualized reading, but something comes through for the person I'm doing the reading for, or the person that Dr. Pat is counseling, and what either comes through, or what Dr. Pat says, or what the client, the caller says, if that resonates with you, if that touches your heartstrings, take it, because there's universal messages of love, healing, and resolution, which are transmitted from the afterlife frequency. And like I said, that's why we're here, is to help people who are just, life, they're not seeing any joy in life because they're so completely crippled by the pain of loss. And we all go through this, and you're not alone. That's why we're here.
Yep. And we're not going to waste any more time. We're going to go right to the phones. We were giving Jessica a few minutes in there. She, I believe, is by herself, and she's been lining up the callers. And I hope, Jessica, let us know when you're ready, and please bring on our first caller if you would.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's roll. Let's go straight to Sandy, our neighbor to the north in Canada. Sandy, you are on the Psychic and the Doc.
Hi, Sandy. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Hey, Happy New Year almost.
Happy New Year to you both. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, how can we help you today?
So I'm here, and I want to be open. If there is anybody that wants to say something to me, I'm more than happy to hear from them and hope they are doing well, and if they have any comments for me.
Okay.
All right, Mark.
All right, Sandy, I'm getting a female energy coming through. She feels like she's connected to you through your mother's side of the family. That doesn't necessarily mean somebody on your mother's generation, could be even a grandmother as well. And what I'm getting is this woman was not obese, but she was not real thin. I'm getting that she kind of had like maybe just a little bit more than a medium build. I would describe her as voluptuous. Okay, so
like me.
Yeah, but I'm feeling, and when I say I'm feeling, the spirit's transmitting um impulses to me so I can help identify them. I'm feeling a lot of pain that was in her breasts. So this could indicate that maybe she had problems with her breasts. It could very well be breast cancer. And it's interesting because I'm feeling breast and uterine, breast and uterine. So there was definitely something going on with her that, and I'm getting the other symptoms that I associate with a cancerous condition, which would be nausea. Because sometimes nausea indicates a cancerous condition. It could also be an indicator, Sandy, that this woman was having difficulty eating and or holding down food prior to passing. I also get that I don't want to say elderly, but she was definitely above 50. She could have been into her 60s. She may have been beyond that, just based on the way I'm seeing her. And hold on, there's one more thing. Now I'm getting issues in kidneys, particularly on the left side. Okay, does any of this make sense to you?
Well, when you were talking about breast, I was thinking more of heart, because, and then on my mom's side, there was my grandmother who passed away in the start of COVID.
Okay, breast would, yes, and thank you for saying that. Normally when I do private readings at the beginning of the session, I spend about 10-12 minutes going through an orientation. Different causes of death may have a similar physical sensation as I experience it. And if I'm getting the chest and also issues with the kidneys, so let's see what she's got to say. You got my diamond ring, you got my diamond ring, you got my diamond ring. Okay, look, most of the ladies I know have rings with diamonds in it, but there's some issue, and it's not like a bad issue, but there's something about her diamond ring. Does that make any sense to you?
I don't recall a diamond ring.
She keeps repeating, you got my diamond ring, you got my diamond ring. There may be a ring or a wedding ring that she had, which either maybe, went to some. Is your mom here in this world?
My mom is here, yes.
Okay. Do you know if your mom got her rings or her,
She gave her wedding ring to my sister. My sister has it on her necklace now.
Bingo. You got my ring, you got my ring. See, this may not necessarily be directed to you. It's directed to you, but that indicates that your grandmother would be aware that your sister has this. Okay, so that's good. And look, who doesn't like cake? Okay, but I'm tasting sponge cake, angel food cake, cake. All right, what's going on with all the cake?
My mom is baking a lot of cake these days.
All right. So guess what? Your grandmother's around and aware of what's happening. She's thrilled that your mom's baking the cake. She loves it that your sister has her ring. And she's telling me that the thing that you have, that you get this from her, is this innate sense of wisdom. Sandy, she says that you're just one of these naturally in tune, intuitive, and wise people. And this makes her very happy.
Sandy, did you get all that?
Yeah, so she's doing well then, I take it? Does she know what's going on with our family?
Well, if she knows that your mom's baking cakes and your sister has her ring, that's a yes. Okay. You got to realize spirits are always fine. We're the ones that are miserable. They're pure energy. Okay. Energy doesn't get sick, old, tired, or die. Okay. I mean, you ever heard of a tired, bolt of electricity? Doesn't happen. So she is absolutely fine. And she's giving you examples of how she's around. Now, Dr. Pat asked you a question. Did you get all that? This is about the wisdom. Okay. Dr. Pat, I'm going to turn this one over to you.
Yeah. So how much time you spending with your mama?
Say that again?
How much time do you spend with your mama?
Your mom. With my mom a lot.
Okay. And do you bake with her?
No.
Because baking's not your thing.
I'm take care of my dad.
Okay. I just want you to just honor this time with her and those that are here with you. Do you know what I'm saying?
You broke up at one point.
I'll
Honor
try it
what?
again. Honor this time and the people that are in the living with you, that are alive.
Okay.
It's a special time. And as we go into this new year, it is a different energy. I don't care who you talk to, astrologers, numerologists, psychics, psychologists. It's a new energy, but it requires us to open the field of gratitude. And it's tough. And so honor the steps that your mom and you, that you are all taking together. It is a time. I mean, we lost people like Hank Aaron, you know, that are multi-generational, that have become to mean something. And so it is time, Cicely Tyson, it is time for you to just honor, right? Just honor people in your life. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
You put all the family squabbling aside for a couple of days. Okay, you good to go?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much. Happy New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year, Sandy.
Yeah, I like it. Jessica.
Yes. Next, we're going to go to Mindy from North Carolina. Mindy, you are on the Psychic in the Dock.
Hey, Mindy. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Happy New Year.
Hey, Happy New Year. Hey, how are you?
Dr. Pat, can you hear me?
I got you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Hello?
Okay, I can hear. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, you're kind of breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, why is that, Jessica? That's
Okay,
kinda
as long you can hear me though, right?
We can hear you,
Yeah.
Mindy. It might be if you're on a cell phone, it could be you.
Yeah.
No, I'm on my house phone, no
Oh,
cell
okay.
phone.
Oh, don't worry about it. I'll make sure
Okay.
that I'll try to talk slowly, but I just love that you're here today. I'm gonna shoot you over to
Oh,
Mark.
thank you so much.
Yeah.
Hi, Mark. Happy New Year. I just want to say thank you to both of you for giving your time. I think it's really generous, and I love you guys for that. Thank you.
Oh,
you
thank
bet.
you,
And
Mindy.
thank
And
you, Jessica.
And you know what? You got to thank our producer,
Jessica.
Rocky, too. Rocky's in the
Rocky.
wings.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what it is. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's funny because people think, oh, that's just a Facebook Live show. No, we are not just a Facebook Live show. This is the Transformation Network. We're a global show that happens to air simultaneously on Facebook Live. And you know what, Mindy? I really want to thank you for taking your time to call in.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. So
And you know, Mark,
go ahead.
I have to tell you, Mark, I'm almost at the end of reading Evidence of Eternity. I absolutely love the book. And my girlfriend actually, she sent me all three of them as a gift. And I don't even know if I'm reading them in the right order, but it's okay. I started with this one first, but I love it.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah, my new one is the Afterlife Frequency. And I hope that you enjoy that. And that, all right. Well, thank you. And so how can we help you?
Okay, well, the last two holidays before this one, I really haven't been able to celebrate any holidays. And this year, I promised myself I would find gratitude and a little bit of joy that I could. And I did. I tried the best I could. So Mark, if you can give me anything from my eternal love, I would be and more than grateful.
Okay, let's see what we got. Is your mom still here in this world, Mindy?
No, Mark.
Okay, because I'm getting this mom energy coming through like majorly. Okay, and hold on. Look, I don't mean to keep going through the desserts. I know the last reading we were getting cake, but now I'm tasting brownies with walnuts. Okay. Look, I know a lot of people like those. It's not something I like, but is there something about brownies and walnuts that makes sense to you in any way, Mindy? It doesn't have to be connected with your mom. It could be connected in any other way.
Well, it's something I used to bake.
Well, that's a yes. It's interesting. What if we had the time, I'd go through my explanation of collective consciousness communication, and groups of spirits come in, and the groups of spirits that are here tonight are for our callers, and there may be common threads through those. We had cakes in the last one. We had something that you used to bake, which are the brownies with the walnuts. Okay, and now there's a male energy coming through, and with him I feel this very abrupt passing, like I'm getting this impact sensation to my head, to my body, and I'm tasting a lot of blood. Now the blood doesn't always mean that there was a bleed out. This could have been some type of internal hemorrhage or some other issue with his blood, but I'm getting this massive pain in my head. And it feels like my forehead is basically going to explode. And I don't mean to be graphic, but that's the sense that I'm getting. Does that make any sense to you with a male connected to you? And he feels like he's on your generational level.
Mark, it's my husband, and it makes 110%.
Okay.
He took his life.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
Sorry.
No, there's nothing to be sorry about. The reason I'm pausing, I'm listening to him, and he's explaining. Now, obviously, people that die from suicide are depressed. Okay, we got world-class psychologist Dr. Pat here. I think that's kind of a given, Dr. Pat.
Yeah.
But what I'm also getting is he said that he felt that he was at the end of his rope, and he said that the only person who saw that was himself, because it was completely subjective. He said, but now as a spirit, he's able to look at how much love there was in his life. And he's he's apologizing in one way, but it's like he's apologizing yet explaining. And he said that you have felt so blue. He keeps saying blue, 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 and so sad. And you keep feeling that there was something you could have done to have changed this. He said, but nobody could have. And he said, my gift to you now is to take that sense of guilt and responsibility from you.
Mm.
Whew, that was intense.
Yeah.
Mark, I actually have a trans-dimensional relationship with him now.
All right. Welcome to the
hear
club. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can hear you loud and clear. Welcome to the club. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm sorry, I lost you for a minute. I actually can feel him 7 days a week physically. I struggle a little bit with clairaudience, but I'm very clairsentient, and we're still very much in love.
Of course, and you always will be.
He will be. He is my eternal.
Of course. And see, the thing about love is not even death can kill love. Love is energy. Energy is neither created nor destroyed, only transferred from one form to another. So even though he has physically expired, that's just his body. Who and what he is a soul, and electromagnetic soul, as I explain in the new book. And so that you have this connection. And this is very important. And I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Pat, but I want to say this first. One of the most important steps in the journey through grief is acknowledging that your relationship has transformed from one of a physical nature to one of a spiritual nature. And you are giving us a beautiful example of someone who's gotten to that point. Dr. Pat?
I just want to say, I love the way that you came on today and reminded us about the power of love. See, I really want to honor you, Mindy, and all of that, because there's nothing more powerful than the power of love and the energy we need to carry forward in the next couple of days as we, hail 2022, right? And what a wonderful, wonderful way that you showed up today to inspire and remind all of us of that. And that's something that is a huge takeaway for all of us on this show tonight. So I wanted to thank you for that.
Well, I appreciate that, Dr. Pat, but it took me a lot of painful, challenging
Yep.
months, a lot of
Yep.
terrible, dark, terrible times to get to that point. But I am very proud of myself, and
Yep.
I know what my heaven looks like, and I know that we will be together.
Yeah. And I know what you mean. I lost my mom to suicide. So I don't know your journey
Oh, gosh.
specifically, but I do know what it takes to go from every emotion in the book about it to a place of love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Suicide grief is the worst.
Yeah, I can
It's the
feel you,
worst.
sister. Happy New Year. Thank you for calling in. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. God bless you.
God bless you. Jessica, why don't we take a short break? And when we come back, we'll hop right over to the phones. How does that sound to you, Jess?
You bet. Sounds like a plan.
All right. We'll be right back, everyone.
Well, it's kind of like the
Thank
end of
you,
that song.
Jessica.
It's kind of like Old Lang Syne, you know, that song just everyone knows, like, sort of, and you get like maybe a line and a half, we all fade out. So in a way, it's kind of
I thought that's
apropos.
because they're drunk.
Well, that too.
We want to thank all of you for tuning us in and turning us on. And yes, we have a live call-in number, 1-800-930-2819. And Jessica is also monitoring Facebook as well with your comments and questions. You know, at the top of the hour, Mark and I, you know, took a moment to mention a few people who are not with us today. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention the staggering number of lives lost to COVID-19.
Yes.
I would be remiss if I didn't do that. Whatever that number is, I don't keep on top of it, Mark. I don't know what it is. I just know staggering number. That's what I know about.
Well, it's affected all of us.
Mhm.
My aunt Betty, actually, she passed earlier this year, about 6 months ago, from complications due to COVID. You know, and it's just a terrible thing. And you know, people need to realize that human history is filled with plagues. I mean, you go right through, and there's plague. And there's a lot of people that are not taking this seriously, and certainly, you know, that is their choice to think that way. But you know, what's that old? An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So,
yeah. Well, I think, you know, every day you're getting more information. I know when I say staggering numbers, I'm talking about 400,000 people in the United States in 20. And then in 2021, I think we're up to about 800,000.
Yeah.
I don't stay on top of it every day, but it doubled in 2021. And I personally know people and have watched what their journeys has been like. You know, the most unexpected people, whether it be from complications or just health issues overall. And we'll never really know, I don't think. I mean, I'm back east because a family member has passed. And we just need you all to know that Mark and I laugh a lot in shows like this and we have a good time, but you know, we have our hearts wide open for all of you. Mark, before we go to the phones, please let folks know they've mentioned your books a couple of times. So let them know how they get the books. Be a good idea.
It would. Well, you know, they're available at all fine bookstores. And since the headquarters of Transformation Networks in Seattle, I want to give a shout out to East West Bookshop in Seattle. I know that they carry my books. For Heaven's Sake in Denver, Body, Mind, and Soul in Houston, Aquarian Dreams in the Melbourne, Florida area. I know the Edgar Cayce Center in New York City carries them, and all Barnes & Noble do. But you can visit my website, which is Afterlife afterlifefrequency.com, just like my new book, Afterlife Frequency. And I invite everyone to sign up for my newsletter so you get the latest updates on what's coming up on the Psychic and the Doc. And also, please, you can order my books through the website, and you can also find out about scheduling a personal session. So I'd like to invite everyone to my website, afterlifefrequency.com. And, Dr. Pat and I, we've been talking about, we got some really super shows coming up in 2022. And I, for one, am so excited about this new technology that's coming with the Transformation Network. And Dr. Pat, I just want to talk a little bit about that. Sure. You brought up an interesting point that people are very familiar with Transformation Talk Network. Mm-hmm. And see, by shifting over to Transformation Network, as people can see, this is a live stream show. Yeah. This is a new form of television. And so Transformation Network is keeping pace with the developments in the 21st century, and we're at the cutting edge of that. So yeah. I'm very excited about this.
Yeah, Jessica, you too, right? I mean, Jessica has been, the Jessica that you don't hear about, right? That has really been in the guts and the bowels of creating this for a number of years. And we're all very excited. We waited for technology to catch up to our vision. You see, we had the vision, but it wasn't cost effective to do what we wanted to do in the way we wanted to do it. We knew it would just be a matter of time. And so rather than compromise what we wanted to build, we waited. We knew that around the corner, there were things that were coming that would enable us to do what we wanted to do in the way we wanted to do it, and do it so people don't have to pay money. See, that had to be part of our parameter, and we're excited about it. But I love that we're talking about honoring people, the people that are here that are calling in, Mark, and the people that they've moved on. And I'd love to go to the phones now, Jessica, and let you direct us to who we have next.
Perfect. Let's go to Britt from Texas. Britt, you are live with the Psychic and the Doc.
Hi, Britt. Welcome to the show. Hi. How can we help you today?
Hi.
Hi.
We're so excited to be able to talk to you today. Happy New Year. Yeah, this is my first time to call in and talk with you, Dr. Pat.
Awesome. Great to meet you.
Well, we have spoken with Mark Anthony, and he is so wonderful. We had my husband is here too, John and Britt from Texas, and we've had some wonderful transformations just through his practices, and we're really appreciative of that.
Well, thank you, Britt, and thank you, John. We appreciate you calling in. So, first off, how's Texas today? What's the weather in Texas like?
It's 80 degrees, and it's just terrible because everybody's getting sick. But basically, we're all trying to keep a positive attitude and keep our personal space.
Absolutely. All right, Britt, how can we help you tonight?
Well, we had some individual part of our family pass away recently, and it's very heartbreaking for my husband and I. And we were wondering if there was anybody that came through that was ready to communicate to us.
Sure, and since you've had sessions with me before, sometimes the person that you want to hear from the most is not always the first one in. And the reason I'm saying that is I'm feeling a male energy coming through. And what I'm getting with this guy is I feel like I'm in the fetal position. Not that he was not a fetus, but I'm getting an adult male, and I see like non-responsive in the fetal position for some time prior to passing. And he was very, very sick, and I'm getting this fluid buildup in the lungs. Now, I don't want to jump to any conclusions and say, oh, he must have died from COVID, because that could be a lot of things. It could be emphysema. It could be congestive heart failure, because I feel like I'm drowning in my own fluids. So that could be like a pneumonia, that could be congestive heart failure. And I get this sense, like right now, I don't know if you're on camera, but I want to keep my eyes closed. And what that indicates to me is that he was essentially non-responsive for a period of time prior to passing. Now, a period of time could be a couple days, could be a little bit longer. So that's what I'm getting with him. And I'm getting that definitely adult male. Looks like he was probably a bit older than middle-aged. Does that make any sense?
Not to me, honey. Did they pass very long ago?
I'm just getting the symptoms.
Okay.
And he does seem to be connected with John in some way, through John's father's side of the family, is what I'm getting.
Okay. Yeah.
And he keeps talking about his
We'll have to
shoes.
check on
So I don't know if he had some issue with his shoes or his feet, but he keeps showing me like these big shoes.
Okay. Well, we will check with his side of the family on that. We'll be in touch with them soon.
Okay, so make a note of that. And so just don't give me the name. What was the relationship with the person who died recently?
It wasn't a person. It was our dog.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Did this dog have like longer hair, like kind of shaggy hair?
Yeah.
Okay. As soon as you said that, I got a shaggy haired dog coming through. And this poor being, there was quite a bit of suffering prior to this dog's passing, is what I'm getting. Yeah. And it feels like I'm feeling like lumps in my head and running down my spine and then in my chest. Oh my God, my stomach. So it almost like if this was a person, these symptoms would be consistent with cancer. But then again, because of the connective tissue issues, it also has a feeling of like rheumatoid arthritis. So different causes of death may have a similar physical sensation, and cancer is a burning sensation, as is rheumatoid arthritis. I don't think people die from rheumatoid arthritis, but that's part of a package of poor health when somebody like this creature was declining. Okay, and did you have to put him? Did you have to put him down?
No, she passed with us.
Interesting, because it seems like there was a question about that. A question about that. And the thing is she was non-responsive for some time prior to passing. Was she unconscious for a bit?
She was suffering. Yeah, she was unable to walk.
Unable to walk. Yeah, it's sort of that dormant state. So, all right, well, all of a sudden she's like jumping all over the place. All right, obviously spirits like to do that. What I mean is they like to do that, like to show that they're energetic once they've crossed. And did you used to feed this dog fruit? Did you used to give this dog pieces of fruit? Yeah. I feel like
no.
It feels like this dog used to eat something that looked like red. It almost tastes like pomegranate. I know that sounds weird, but I'm getting something like that.
Maybe our rabbit.
Well, we did spoil her with all kinds of treats, but I don't know. She was amazing. We adopted her when she was 3, and we didn't know about her past. Her past before, what was her previous life or previous name, and if she could possibly be reincarnated.
Okay. That's a lot for a mini reading here on the show. Let me put you over to Dr. Pat real quick.
Okay. First of all, thank you for calling in, and what a beautiful soul. So much love between all of you. Isn't it wonderful? Isn't it wonderful to have experience? You know, such just a beautiful soul, you know, such an animal friend, right? You know, somebody that is part of your family's been with you. And sometimes we often don't realize that their loss is seriously equal to that of losing a person. We often don't realize that. But this is a show tonight turning out to be a show of love. And I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that the message that you're getting is surrounded itself with pure love. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes, we just miss her so much. We loved her so much. She was
Exactly.
incredible.
Exactly. Exactly. And you did nothing wrong. You know that, right?
Well,
Do
it's
you
hard.
both
I think
know
my
that?
husband is really suffering.
That's what I'm trying to get to, that point there, right? You did nothing wrong. Right? Do you understand what I'm saying, Britt?
Yeah, we need to just let just let time heal our pain, and
But
know
you
that
did
we tried
nothing
everything.
wrong.
We really.
But yeah, so what I want to leave you with is giving yourself a break. You did nothing wrong. There was nothing else for you to do. You couldn't have. Everything played out exactly the way it was supposed to. There was nothing else you could have done, especially around the passing. Do you follow me?
Yes.
Can I interject real quick?
Sure.
It was interesting
Yes.
because I was getting the image of a pomegranate. Does a pomegranate, don't worry about how it applies to the animal. What does a pomegranate mean to you?
Oh, healthy. Yes, it's like health and nutrition. We gave her supplements and vitamins and all kinds of different healthy, herbs and things to try to help her heal. So I think that would represent to me health, healthy.
Right. Because remember when I was like, were you feeding her fruit? And then I was getting pomegranate. So what it is, there's universal concepts that are transmitted, and a spirit sends an electromagnetic impulse into my brain that gets converted into recognizable concepts based on my memories, feelings, and cultural associations. And pomegranate is extremely high in antioxidants and vitamin C. All right. And then you said, well, we were giving her all of these foods and nutrients. Pomegranate also has another meaning, which Dr. Pat referenced. This reading surrounded by love. Pomegranate was an ancient Greek and Roman symbol for love and passion.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So the greatest gift that you can give her now, the greatest gift, because there's a gift for you to give now. Are you okay to hear it?
Yeah.
And then I'll let you go.
Yes. And
okay.
There's one more thing. I don't know if I can start a different conversation, but this year we also tried to do in vitro fertilization, and we lost that opportunity. And that was another thing that we lost this year. It's been just really shocked. We were unprepared for these losses.
That's right.
My experience has been that even if you're prepared for a loss, you're never ready for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds to me that you and John, like Dr. Pat said, your lives are filled with love. I mean, look at the compassion that you're showing for your dog. Okay, she was a member of your family. There's so much love there, so much compassion. And my mentor, Father Sonny, I just loved him. He was such a great guy. And he said to me, he said, you grieve as deeply as you have loved, and grief is the price of love. But a life without love isn't much of a life at all. So for you, Britt and John, and for everybody listening, when you are crushed by grief, and I'm not marginalizing it or trivializing it because it's horrible. When you're crushed by grief, that is merely the polar opposite of how much you loved that person, that animal. And I think that's a beautiful testament to the person, to the animal who passed. And I can never find fault with what Dr. Pat says, or with what Father Sonny said, is that a life without love isn't much of a life at all.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for calling in. Have a blessed new year. blessed new year. And remember what I said to you. Let go of any guilt and shame you have, because there's nothing for you to take on with that. Okay? Jessica, who do you have next?
Yeah, let's swing over to the other coast and let's get Heidi from North Carolina. Heidi, you are on the air with the Psychic and the Doc.
Hi, Heidi. Welcome to the show. Hello.
Oh,
How can we
hi.
help
I
you?
didn't know I was on already.
I know.
Hi.
Now you're like live.
Can you guys hear me all right?
Yes.
Absolutely. How can we help you?
Okay, good. Well, thanks again for taking my call. And I did call a couple weeks ago and talked to Mark and I think Rocky about my friend who is deep in grief and not knowing how to help her, and I got their advice. And so I guess I'm wondering, like, what role do I play? Because I feel like kind of shut down a little bit, not knowing like if I'm going to trigger her or help her. And like, I don't know how to be the best support person. Right now, I'm a little more detached than I want to be, giving her space, but I don't know how can I be my best support person and not like ignore her.
Oh, I'm gonna answer that question. So this is apparently somebody that is grieving. Is that correct?
That she's what?
She's grieving something, a loss or something.
Yeah, the loss of her son from January.
Yep. But she's a very dear friend of yours, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
So the hardest thing that happens to the friends, the people that are the closest to us, the hardest thing, and boy, I'm speaking from experience right now, sister, right in this moment. The hardest thing is to step back and not try to, and this is the word, fix something. And it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's fix a feeling or help them feel better, or don't make sure they don't eat the entire chocolate cake, right? Or the you know, like we're having pizza 3 times this week now already, right? So the hardest thing that we can do is just be. B-E. Just be. Just be with them. Give them hugs when they need hugs, right? Listen to them without commenting. Learning how to paraphrase back and say, Mary, it sounds like you're in such grief, such loss. I'm here for you.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah.
That's it.
I said all that.
But that's it.
Okay.
I think you
And
want
just,
something
like-
else, though. It sounds to me like you want some other outcome. Tell me what that is.
I want to understand healthy boundaries for myself,
Yeah.
where I don't overstep, but also can still like be a support, because I think I've crossed the line.
Look at here's my
and I'm
advice
burnt
about
out
this.
a little bit.
Yeah, that's it. You
Okay.
just answered my question. Here's the deal. You ready? The way you know when you have, what'd you say, crossed a line, isn't always from the other person, because they're never going to really tell you, and they're going to lash out at you. We had that happen today, right? When somebody loses somebody close to them, they are angry. You get on the phone with them like what happened today, and they're like, look, what the duck the F you, like, right? And you're like, whoa, okay, but it's not about you, right? So the way you know you've stepped across a line is when you know you've stepped across a line. But don't walk on eggshells, because here's what I want to say about you, about this. I hope you can hear what I'm going to say. I'm going to try to say it directly, but not be like mean.
Okay.
This journey isn't about you. See, most psychologists, when you get on a show like this, they say, this is about you. No, 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 no. That's not my message to you. This is about you in tandem to a person you love. You may have to tolerate some things that you normally wouldn't. But if you keep your heart open, right?
Yeah.
You will get it. And you're going to mess up. It's okay.
Yeah.
We all do it, right? We were all trying to fix.
Yeah.
We were all doing the same thing. We have a family member who passed away, and we're working with the spouse, and we're all trying to help. And we're like, you got to do a spreadsheet. You got to do a spreadsheet. She doesn't want to do a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
She just lost her husband, right? But you still try to help. So that's all I'm trying to say to you. You've got to be yourself. But anytime you can lead with love, L-O-V-E, love, that's what will be remembered. Does that make sense to you, Mark?
You know, Dr. Pat, I could not agree more with what you said. And because it was very important when you said that this is not, Heidi, this is not about you. Okay. This is your friend's journey, your friend's grief. And I'm saying this in a kind way, you need to back off. Okay. Because you're like, I want to help you. 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 And you know what? That can be extremely irritating for the person grieving.
Yeah.
So be a friend and say, I'm here if you need me. I'm just a phone call away. Back off.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a lot.
And then keep doing that. Keep doing
that. But
that.
don't shut your heart.
Right.
Don't
like,
shut.
that's why I'm a little
confused. Don't shut the heart. That's right. That's right.
Because I think I'm enabling.
Enabling, shenabling. That's like enabling, shenabling. What the heck did we come up with this crazy language in psychology? Let me explain codependence in 30 seconds. Are you ready?
Okay.
When you do things for another person from a place of love, not I should be doing it, but when you come from a place of love, that's not codependence, right?
I know.
That's love, right? So let me just tell you, you will know when you have crossed the enabling line. You will not be able to get out of bed. It will be so heavy on you. That's when you know. Your friend may push back and say, yo, wait a minute. I don't want you to come clean my house now. Okay, right? But please, if you come from the purity of your heart and you're caring for your friend, do you hear me?
Yeah.
Throw the word enabling out. This is a person that lost somebody. I don't know what did you enable? What did you do that you think it's enabling? Quick, real quick.
Like, we're just all tiptoeing around the fact that she doesn't want to get any kind of grief support, which I understand. It's her own time and journey.
She ain't ready. My friend's shopping.
Driving her. Well, I was she won't drive anymore, so I've been driving her and her kids around and just burnt out, kind of
Yep. Yeah. See, the dog, it knows that. Here's what I want to say. It's going to take as long as it takes. Here's what I want to tell you to watch out for. What you have to be able to do is if you see her spiral down, you need to be able to reach out and get help. You don't ever want a loved one to spiral down. Now, I can't give you any psychological advice on this because I don't know, and it would not be ethical. But your radar is up, and that is good. But what is the consequence if you don't drive her around? Do you understand what my question is?
If I don't drive her around? Is that
what's going to happen?
Oh, yeah, no, I've stopped. So I'm feeling kind of guilty, like I'm not really.
But why would you stop driving her around, right? You see what I'm trying to say? Please come from your heart.
Because she had a big huge nervous breakdown in my presence when me and another friend were trying to help her pack. And I triggered her inadvertently, and I just have been scared ever since. So, like, I don't want to trigger her.
I agree.
Again, but I think
agree
she
with
needs
you.
help.
She does need help,
Yeah.
but you can't shut your heart, because there's going to be a time where you may have to intervene and bring somebody in to get her help, because you don't want her to have a breakdown. See, what happens, we take it personally. But if you are the only lifeline she has to help, if you are that lifeline, oh my gosh, what a gift you are to her. Okay?
Yeah.
Just please come from your heart. We can't give you I can't give you exact psychological help here, but what I'm trying to say to you is, if this is a person that needs help, you're the only one that's going to be able to dial 911 and get her help if she needs it. Right?
Right. Yeah.
And you are learning healthy boundaries. This is not an exact science. It's one step forward and 2 steps back. Did I get that right?
Right.
Or is it 2
Yes,
steps
no,
forward?
yes,
I don't
one
know.
step forward, 2 steps back. We get it, because you're absolutely right.
Mark.
Yeah. We thank you, everybody, for calling in. And Dr. Pat and I will be back in 2022 next week. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in, and thank everybody for supporting us in 2021.
Thank you.
God bless you. Happy New Year. Be safe.
Yep. Love to all of you.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning into The Psychic and the Doc with Mark Anthony and me, Dr. Pat Baccili, right here on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Hey, look, come back next week so we can explore with you more of life's many challenges and learn from fascinating guests. And you know what? Even Mark and me. We'll connect you and discover insights from people in this life and from the afterlife. Extraordinary problems? Yeah, they do. They require extraordinary solutions. But step into the world of possibilities with us on The Psychic and the Doc. That's every Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on TransformationTalkRadio.com. That's TransformationTalkRadio.com. And don't forget, we're also live face-to-face on Facebook.com, Transformation Talk Radio.